Wednesday that I have actually finished all of my projects for August, even though it's not quite the end of August yet, so I thought I might as well film my video now and then it'll give me a little bit longer to work on my projects for September. So my first make is the off the shoulder top in a cotton. Yeah, I'd say it's just a cotton. I don't think it's thin enough to be a cotton lawn. The fabric was from my grandma's stash. I had just enough to make the top. I was going to use a tutorial, but the tutorial wasn't great. So in the end I worked out all the measurements myself and then just did it like that really. So I'm going to write up my own tutorial of how I did it, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I love the elastic. I love that I can wear it up to be a bit more girly, or I can wear it off the shoulder. Normally I would wear it with a strapless bra, but mine decided to go kaput in the washing machine, so I've got it on with just straps today. I love it, yeah. I've been wearing it with my wrap skirt, so it's quite a high-waisted look. I think it's quite a vintage sort of style the way I've been wearing it at the minute, but I did realise that I can also wear it untucked, but it is quite blousy untucked, probably because of the amount of fabric that there is. Yeah, so I don't really think I'll be wearing it untucked unless I eat a really, really, really large dinner, in which case it will definitely be untucked. So yeah, that's it for this one, and to the next. Okay, so my next make is, I'm going to sit on a cushion to make me a bit taller, is this top, which was from the pattern for the Simplicity Sewer Challenge. I made View B, and I remember saying about how I wasn't quite sure how cropped it was going to be. As it goes, it's very cropped. It's also backless and shows rather a lot of cleavage. I like it. It's very much out of my comfort zone. I don't think I ever really go completely backless and low cut and with ties, and yeah, it's a big step. I showed it to Ricky and he was like, it's nice, but I think maybe it'd be a bit better suited to like another country where it's a bit warmer. He was like, I don't really see you strutting down the street in England. So I do like it. I mean, it's got some great features. I love this. I love that it ties, so you can have it as tight or as loose as you want. I love the gathers underneath the bust. I love this collar. I love that it's all lined, so even though you do have to go braless, you do feel very secure. I can't really wait to make my next one actually. I am planning on making another one, but I want to add a skirt onto the bottom, and I'm toying with the idea of doing View C, just because I think those gathers at the bust are going to be really flattering as well. So I do like it. I kind of feel quite vixeny. I've got it on with a high-waisted skirt at the minute. And that's what I think I'll be wearing it with, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of midriff on display. But yeah, I kind of feel like Marilyn Monroe, so I love that about it, but it is quite a big step out of my comfort zone. Okay, so the third make is this dress, which could not have been better, I think, if I'd have tried. It is a 1-inch gingham check. It is a poly cotton from Abakahns fabrics. I will put links to everything I've mentioned down below in the description. It's fantastic. To be honest, I couldn't really tell the difference between this and cotton, apart from this is a lot cheaper. I love it. In the end I went for a faux button placket. I was debating between drafting one and doing a faux one, and in the end I thought it was just a little bit easier to do a faux one, plus it meant that I could do it on the bias without having to worry about it stretching or gaping. The buttons, nice boob shot for you. The buttons are just from my stash. I only had 4. They're plastic, they've got like a little ridge. They might be vintage. Let's say they are, makes me seem classy. Vintage buttons. Yeah, I basically just sew everything up as according to the pattern, which was the lilou bodice from Tilly and the Buttons Love at First Stitch, and then a gathered skirt. I think, yeah, there's not really much I can say about it apart from I absolutely love it. I don't think it could have come out any better if I tried. Yeah, I'm pretty darn in love, to be honest. I want one in all of the colours now. I know that they stock this in pink and red and like a light blue and like a navy blue. Well, this is a navy blue, but like a royal blue. So I just want all the colours now. Like every single colour is going to be happening. I think it's beautiful. I've not really taken it off, to be honest. It like goes into the wash and then it comes straight back out and it's like straight back on me. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with how it turned out. I just followed the instructions and added a little bottom placket magic. This is only attached to the top layer, it's not attached to the lining, so you can't see it from the inside. I just added it on before I stitched it all together and it worked like a dream. So yeah, this one might be my favourite apart from the bonus dress that I've made. But we're not getting onto that yet because my next thing that I said I was going to finish was the Mario blanket. So it's really hard to see because of me not having really anywhere to film these vlogs or videos or whatever you call it. So if you want to see a better picture, if you pop onto my Instagram, I am knitwitsowls, there is a picture on there which shows the full thing in all its glory. But to talk about the details, when I last spoke about it, I'd only done the quilt top. It has now been quilted. Each colour section I treated as one, so I didn't treat each block in like each patch individually, each square individually. I treated like the red ones were just one. And I quilted it in a spiral from the outside to the inside in the corresponding colour. So all of the blue bits are in blue, all of the red bits are in red. I changed my bobbin about 1,010,000 times, but it's a really great effect and it did really help to differentiate between different areas and what was what, especially when it came to the background. I chose to do black for the background, like shades of black and brown, like dark colours. And it was sort of melding into the dungarees because they're blue too. So instead of quilting the background in a spiral, I just did crosses, did diagonal quilting, one cross through each square. It took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to do. I actually thought that was going to be the quickest bit, and it wasn't. But yeah, so the Mario definitely stands out from the background. It's a technique I would really recommend for anybody who's doing something like this and everything's not quite standing out, is to quilt the main part really, really heavily and then to quilt the background less heavily, or vice versa, whichever works. But I would say to quilt the main thing heavily. The binding it's floral, which is a bit weird for a bloke, but I wasn't going to stand there and cut binding all night, to be honest. So I just used some floral stuff that I had. It's hand stitched down on the front. It's It's machine stitched on the back. And each of the corners has a little triangle. And there's this green one, the blue one, there's a red one, and there's a yellow one. And it's definitely not because I screwed up. Intentional. Not screw up. It's not because I did my binding wrong because I was tired and then had to cut some of it away at the corners so I could get it to fold down. It was intentional. This is not some sort of patch to stop it looking rubbish. But yeah, I wrapped it up for Ricky as a surprise for when he finished his night shift. He was chuffed, he said it was lovely to come home to it. He's really glad that he's finally got a blanket that I've made him that actually covers him, and he's looking forward to using it when he's poorly next. Which I'm not exactly looking forward to, because he is a complete baby when he's ill. And he's like, I need blankets and hot crackers and I need this and I'm dying, it's the end. And I'm like, man up. You have a cold, I have one too, man up. But on the plus side, it gives me a lot of time to sit downstairs and sew. So, yeah. Finished! So, bonus make. Be right back. Okay, so this is my bonus make. I wasn't expecting to have time to make it. I did. I couldn't resist. I love the fabric so much. It is, okay, so the fabric is from Abakhans. It was a pre-cut length. I think it was about 1.5 meters, and it was from their African wax print cotton bin. It's the one of the bins where you take out a piece and then you take it to the till and they weigh it and they tell you how much it was at the till. Like how much it is, and then you can decide whether or not you want it. I think this piece was something like £3.50, which for 1.5 meters of fabric is really good. I pre-washed it and there was no colour bleeding, there was no anything really. The only thing is it's got little tiny sparkles on it, and sometimes the sparkles, if they go in with like knitwear, they get stuck to the knitwear, which doesn't really bother me because I'm the only person in the family that really wears knitwear, so I just have sparkly knitwear. Because of the way that it was printed, it was like there was a big section down the middle and then there was sections down the side. I cut the bodice completely on one grain and then I cut the skirt on the other grain. I've never had any trouble with doing anything like that before. I never have any trouble with it stretching or not meeting up or not looking right. To be honest, I always just tend to cut things out the best that I can out of the fabric and don't really, I do pay attention to the grain line, but I don't like, it's not gospel. So yes, the pattern, the bodice is the Princess Seam bodice from the second Great British Sewing Bee book. If you are going to make the bodice, I do warn you, it's really short. Like on the model, it comes to like here, but like in reality, it's more of an empire line. So you either need to lengthen your bodice pieces if you're not a fan of the empire line, or you need to do a waistband. I typically tend to go for, oh Christ, a waistband just because I really like that nipped in feel that you get. There you can see that the bodice and the waistband are cut on different grains because of the way that the diamonds are going. Yeah, it's just typically the sort of thing that I do is, I like the waistband. I like to feel clinched in and it's like wearing a belt with something. And then, so the waistband is from the box pleat skirt pattern from the same book, but it's not been folded over, so it's just the pattern piece as it is with a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. And then the skirt, up down, is the box pleat skirt from the same book, and for some bizarre reason they perfectly match up, so you don't even need to change anything. The only thing that doesn't quite match up is the waistband, and that's because it's designed to have like a tab on the end. Yeah, I sewed it up, I didn't have any trouble. Invisible zip in the back. The back doesn't quite match. Like at the front I've managed to sort of get some sort of pattern going across the princess boob area. But the back, oh my god, doesn't quite match up. I realised as I was cutting into it that the piece was not completely straight. It hadn't been, I don't know how they make it, but it hadn't been printed straight or blocked straight or whatever it was. So the back doesn't match, but my hair's quite long, so it's not an issue. So yeah, this was my bonus make. I love it. It's fully lined. It was supposed to be a copy of the red African wax print dress that I made. However, I forgot to put the slit in the front, which I'm quite glad I did now, because I think otherwise you wouldn't have got this really lovely diamond effect running down. So you got the diamonds here, and then it goes onto the waistband. I keep falling over. In fact, the only place it doesn't match up is here, and that's because I went off the bottom teardrop as opposed to the top one, which was a bit silly of me, but you know, I was tired and it's not really something that's going to particularly stop me wearing it or anything. So yeah, August makes are done. That's it really. Now I suppose I need to choose what I'm going to make for September, don't I? I hope you've enjoyed my videos. If you are enjoying them, please leave me a comment or subscribe or pop over to my blog and say you've watched. I'm really enjoying doing them, so I hope people are enjoying seeing them.